I got pregnant right now, I would still be scared like it was a teen pregnancy.
Yeah.
I'm 30. Like, I would be like, what do I do?
Nobody
Get
knows.
in the group chat.
Congratulations.
Like, congrats? Question mark.
Somebody's actually be like, I'll marry you right now.
Like, wow.
JD's like,
My dad
shotgun
didn't
to
kill
you. Oh.
Oh, well.
First dad joke. First of many.
Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to episode 1 of our podcast that we have determined is called Put It on the Agenda. In today's episode, we discuss basically who the heck we are, why you should listen to us, what we're doing.
Some of our favorite moments from
Some
the
of our
cruise.
favorite moments from Royal Caribbean's Ultimate World Cruise that we're all on together. So join us for a good time.
We are about halfway through our 9-month cruise. It's day 150 something,
Yep.
Yeah.
55.
and we're loving it.
Having a grot 10.
We
for
are.
Sure.
Having an amazing time. And we like to hang out and talk shit and ramble. So we've decided to record it. Because why
Well,
not?
yeah.
It's from the side.
We do this all the time anyways.
So we might as well record it.
So you can join us
Welcome
on...
to the podcast.
I'm trying-
We go to AI through the.
Oh yeah, don't do the AI. On trying to follow the red string meme of how our conversation works.
The red string theory.
The red string theory.
String cheese theory?
What?
What?
I've connected the dots.
Okay.
Which is why we literally put things on the agenda for when we get together. We write them on the mirror so we can remember what we want to talk about, because we all love to tell stories and we all get very easily sidetracked. So we put it on the agenda by literally writing it on the mirror. So here you are now. You're just in here with us. So
Congratulations.
Welcome.
welcome.
This is where we legitimately sit.
These are spots.
Yeah.
Literally, it's just a camera and microphones.
Yeah.
And maybe less shit talking. Maybe.
More
maybe
code
it's
names.
specific.
More code names.
We're Codename cargo pants.
They'll never guess.
We'll never guess who that is.
So I'll start. I'm Angie. I'm 38. I'm from Portland, Oregon, and I'm on the cruise. Sort of solo hybrid is how I consider myself. I have my brother and his wife and 3 kids are on the cruise as well, but we don't do a ton together. Full stop. But also just not a ton. We rarely do stuff in port together. I see them more on the ship. So it's really nice to have a home base, but then also kind of doing my own thing, including doing stupid shit with these fellow 3 weirdos.
Woo. Hello.
Gang, gang.
Who's next? Rock, paper,
You
scissors.
got it. You've already
Cargo
started.
pants.
You got the
Rochambeau.
momentum.
Oh,
Take it.
We love it. Hello, my name is
I thought you
Little
did
Rat
that.
Brain, or LOB, or
Yep.
LOB, L.
Codename cargo pants.
Yeah, you got a lot of aliases going on here. Officially, I'm 23.
Unofficially, what are you?
Unofficially, I'm whatever my finger pulls for that, like, date thing. You know when you fill out those, like, online
Yeah.
dates
Yeah.
where it's like,
Yeah.
pick a day? Sometimes it just scroll.
Oh, yeah.
Now I have to
All the
scroll
time.
really far though now.
17.
No, I literally
39.
just like,
Yeah, it's...
and just hit next.
No,
Okay.
because the dates don't matter. So, officially, 23.
Is that how you filled out all your visas? Just there!
Okay, not the visas,
No, the
but
visa's, like, they
Very
got my
intensive.
government birthday.
Yeah,
Ooh,
for
how
sure.
lucky of them.
And government name? Or does,
Yeah, my
does your
government
India
name.
visa say Little Rat Brain?
Can you imagine? Yeah, that's why it took me so long to go through. No, it does not. But I am from Florida, born and raised. We love it. Traveling on with my mom, but she doesn't really want to be on camera, so I
Yeah.
respect that.
There you go.
It makes editing videos very interesting at times.
You should just put like one of those blur sensors.
I do
over her face.
sometimes.
Oh, okay.
I've
Oh,
actually
cool.
done that. I've also like
Never
explored it with
seen
Hi Mom.
Yeah.
Because I do it like very quick.
Yeah.
In general, we're pretty good at like keeping an eye on me
Out of
and
frame.
reflections. But yeah,
But
it's
yeah.
true. That's it for me. And I also hang out a lot with these 3
Three.
people. Only one of which you've been introduced to. So
Segway.
very obviously.
And then
Yeah.
I am Allie Kenny, codename Allison, I suppose.
I love how you gave your full government name.
I mean, I literally put it online though, so
That's
like
true.
Yeah.
I am
that is our actual
Allie
names.
Kenny. Yes,
Yeah.
we use our actual names online. I'm Allie
Which I sometimes
Kenny.
regret.
I don't. I
Okay.
mean,
No, I don't care.
I was a theater kid though, so that was just kind of
I
like.
kind of want my
So you
name.
want your name to be out there? You both
Ew.
want your
Look,
name to be out there.
I want my name to be out
All
there.
right,
You know,
all right,
like
all right.
selfishly. I hate that to admit that.
Now we're holding up a mirror of
Online.
reflection, which we don't.
Anyway,
There's a lot of mirrors here, so it's fine.
it's actually our favorite game to play is Find Me in the Mirror.
Find me in the mirror.
Pick one.
Anyways, my name is Allie Kenny. I'm on with my husband Andrew, who's the fourth
Hi. Yes.
compatriot.
The
P in a
most important
pod.
person. 'Cause
Producer,
we're
director,
actually-
executive producer.
Director, EP.
The brains.
DP.
We're on
Roadie.
for the full world cruise.
A bartender.
Fourth wheel?
Bartender. I don't know.
Did you say fourth wheel?
Yeah.
Fourth
No.
wheel.
No, you're a dairy girl.
You
I am
are
a dairy girl.
I'm 29. I'll turn 20, or I'll turn 30. I'll turn 30 on this cruise later.
30, flirty, thriving.
Andrew just turned 27 like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
We live in Florida. Florida kid energy.
Hey.
Deidre, you have anything to add?
I mean, you know, I'm here. Glad to be here. No,
My name is Beyonce Knowles. Blessed to be here.
just blessed to be here. I mean, I feel like you kind
I
of covered all my
covered it.
bases,
Sorry, my bad.
unfortunately.
Oh.
But it's
Anyways, we're married. We're on the cruise, and we're the other half of this. I would say a duo,
Squad?
but it's not a duo.
I keep saying pod.
pod.
That's
One, because we've been
wow.
talking about the
That's
podcast,
very-
but also it's like squad,
The
The other
pod.
half
Pod.
of this pod squad.
Can that be the new
Ew, I
Gen
hate
Z
that.
term? And can we replace squad with pod?
Ew.
Oh, sure.
God. It gives me very co-walk vibes, so we walk.
Pod.
Also feels a little
We work.
COVID-esque of like when people were like, they're in my pod, they're in
Triggered.
my bubble.
Okay, well,
I shouldn't have brought it up.
we're going there anyway.
So we're going there anyway.
Wow.
Welcome to our podcast. It's called Put It on the Agenda, as Angie said.
We've decided
We
to be like
ramble.
every finance bro in existence.
For having a
And
podcast?
Make a
Make a
podcast.
podcast.
Instead of
All
put a
right.
bird on it, put
Anyway,
a podcast on it.
first big
First-
question
Yes.
of the day. What was your first impression
Oh,
of
geez.
each
I
other?
forgot we were doing.
Oh,
I kind of
Yeah.
do. It's a good
That's
thing you
the big
remembered.
question of the day.
Jump scale.
I'll start. I remember being at the hotel in Miami and seeing you guys at the pool.
Oh, yeah.
And you were with your friends who were getting on it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because they had their daughter.
Yeah.
And so I remember being like,
My
there's
niece.
other... Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, oh, there's other young people. Which is
Yeah,
fun.
same.
And then I remember your video after the gala with the henna,
Ugh.
LOL.
which I liked because I felt like... So if you haven't seen the video, Allie got henna done, fell asleep with it that night, and it got on her face. Which is very much...
Sums up. Very on brand.
It is on brand, but it's also why I didn't get henna, because I knew that that would happen to me. So I was like...
That's so funny.
Great.
So vindicated. You were so vindicated.
Well, a little bit, but also like, she's an idiot like me. Not that you had any, not like you did anything to it, but it
Right,
just
but
like,
you were just like,
shit
okay,
happens to you
same
too.
thing.
Right, you're not perfect.
If shit can
Same
happen,
thing.
like that would have
Yeah.
been me. So,
Perfect.
and then I think we only met. I remember those were my first impressions, and then
I think we met.
we met at a silent disco
Yes.
Did you really?
Like
How
day 2
romantic.
on the cruise.
That's good.
We do date.
Yeah.
I say that we're dating in case people that I don't approve of for cargo pants asks what her status is.
yes.
I have a
Absolutely.
lot of protectors, which is very nice.
You do.
I do
You
appreciate
have a
it.
whole
Yeah.
family of people.
got a
It's
squad.
Yeah.
very
Great.
appreciative.
A pod.
Like, get it right, Allison. I don't know first impressions, but yeah, those are like my first memories of like.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
first memory.
And they're digital too, because I
Yeah.
remember seeing your video with the
Terrifying.
pizza in the hotel.
Yeah, so the pizza, very funny about that.
Yeah, I
It's
think we
one of
related,
my
yeah.
few photo sets. And yeah, no, wild.
set.
Yeah, it's a photo set. I can't even get paid for it because it was a photo.
Damn it.
But also that was before you could monetize.
Right.
Yeah.
When we all only had 100 followers
Yes,
collectively.
when I had like 100
crazy,
followers.
yeah.
Crazy.
And then literally blew up overnight.
Yes.
Yeah.
How I made that photo set funny, I actually wasn't gonna do it. And then it was like late at night, I could not sleep. And I was like,
Why not? I'm
Let
gonna
me
post on
make a TikTok. Which is why I chose photo set, because I could do it quietly, because my mom and my aunt were in the room.
Oh, that makes sense.
So
Yeah.
that's how it ended up. So, very first impressions for both of you was when we did the whole like little TikTok get together.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like the full cementing.
Yeah.
Right. First time.
Yeah, I mean that
Right.
was the first time I feel like we all actually interacted.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was
Was
before
the-
sushi making, right?
Yeah.
that was
yeah.
pre-sushi making.
Okay.
Because once we made that video is when we actually got invited. Was after that.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I will say, like, that was much more the false impression for Angie specifically.
Right.
That one. I don't know. I just felt very
Ooh.
vibe. I was like, okay, vibe,
You're
vibe.
like, okay.
I think too. I feel like I've talked about this with you.
Yes.
Everybody else sort of does content with a partner,
Yes.
where you and I didn't have
Yes.
that. So
So
very
we
much at
were
the beginning,
like-
we were kind of like, we're together.
Right.
What the fuck is happening?
Right.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then there was a sushi class, and I was sitting next to Andrew, and he had
The bite
The
mouth.
GoPro.
literally, I think at that moment, I was like, this is very intense.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting this level of intensity.
I was a lot more intense. I feel like we all felt this pressure to
Yeah.
like,
Of like, oh my god, everybody's
well,
watching.
TikTok's
suddenly.
happening.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know
What do
what
we
to do.
do?
That was like an
Yeah.
Arnold impersonation right there.
I was
No.
Yeah.
No, first time I remember meeting LRB was because like I had seen everybody's content blowing up, and then I was like,
bad.
oh my god,
It's just the tower.
I don't
No,
know.
no.
On the way back from Cozumel, on the like
Oh, uh-huh.
vomit rocket or whatever the hell
Oh,
they
yeah.
call it, we
That was
bumped
a
into
bad
her,
one.
and I was like, hey, oh my gosh, is your mom a manager on your account?
Because you can get
So you can
monetized.
because I thought she was like 17 years old, and I didn't want her to get screwed out of like this amazing opportunity that
Right,
was all
that-
thrust on everybody.
we were
So
all
in
kinda
my
trying
mind,
to
I
get
was
paid
like,
and stuff,
well, I
yeah.
want to make sure she's getting it
I
too. And then she
appreciate
was
that.
like, I'm 20, and I was like,
How
thanks
old
so
are you?
much.
It felt
You're
so
welcome.
bad
I felt
immediately.
so
I like
bad.
I think I had a dream about it the other day. It like resurfaced.
Would it help if I say I have no recollection? of
Okay, that does actually.
That
make
does
me feel
Yeah,
help a
better.
lot. Yeah.
absolutely
No, we were in the
zero
theater.
recollection of that.
No,
No,
we
no,
were
no.
on
It was
the-
no. Allie, listen to me. The first time we had interaction with LRB
It
was
was-
on the
Yes.
vomit rocket.
Yes.
But then we discussed that and been like, oh, because we wanted to say something, and then the next day we had the like event with the champagne and the like hat and stuff. You remember?
Yes.
No.
And that's when we ended up walking behind her,
Yes.
and
Oh, I didn't
then
go to
we were
that.
like, hey.
Is
Heads
your
up,
mom- okay,
your mom
okay,
can
okay.
run your account.
Yes,
so
I
you
do
get
recall
paid.
this.
And then she was like, hey, I'm
no,
old
you were
enough.
supposed to say you never remembered that.
No, no.
No.
She's like, I'm gonna bring it up every time.
And then I remember.
Well, it was very funny because my mom was like, "You should talk to them because they also do content, and like maybe you guys can like get
Yeah.
together."
Well, because everybody was like trying to push us together,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
we were also like very panicky
Well,
about like
we
I
also
don't
didn't know,
don't put
like-
me in with these people
I
because
think
nobody
we were
knew
all
each
kind
other.
of scared of like trusting each other
Yeah.
Right? No,
Because,
you don't
well-
know these people.
too. Well, not all the pressure on TikTok was like, who's gonna start shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so everybody's
everyone was like,
scared.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna do
Are
it.
they gonna out me for XYZ? Are
Yeah, yeah, like, we had
they
no
weird?
idea
Like, are they gonna
what
respect my
content was gonna come
boundaries?
Yeah.
out, where it was gonna go.
And then I,
I think there
remember
was also
seeing... No,
sorry.
go ahead.
I think there's also at least maybe it's just me a small, maybe not so small feeling of competition
There was.
with one
Right,
another
it
of like who's
definitely
blowing
was.
up faster, who's getting calls to do an interview, who's doing
Yes.
Right, all
X,
these
Y,
No, and
Z,
everyone
who's
held
getting
their
the better
cards-
sugar daddy offer.
Right.
Stop.
LRB always.
Stop.
LRB always gets the
that
better
was
sugar
legitimately
daddy.
It's
the
true.
conversation.
She
I
always
got
has.
offered this. What did you get offered?
Yeah.
And it was like this weird. We didn't
There was a
know
competitive aspect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
competitive aspect of it. And then once we became friends, it was all like, oh,
Here's my
clearly
cards.
This is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Let me
but
tell
we
you
were-
all
yeah,
my trauma. Let me
everyone-
trauma dump
yeah.
on you.
Everyone felt very guarded.
Yeah.
At
And
first
then
for a while.
for Angie, I remember watching like some of her videos because like obviously I saw about her parents and I was like, okay, well she understands like grief, and so I had that in the back of my mind. And then we met at the big TikToker thing and we're like, okay, and then we really bonded over the weird documentary thing, and I felt like I was bonkers because everybody else was like, oh, let's sign up for a documentary, and I was like, this seems
Yes.
very weird. Is nobody else concerned by this?
I
And then
think
Angie
that
was
should be
like,
its own episode.
that
by
needs
the
to
Yeah,
be
it
way.
definitely needs to be its own
episode.
episode
But
that we
then
might not really talk.
when me
Yeah.
and Angie
Maybe we
talked
don't release
about
till
it-
September 12th.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
But then Angie was like, do you feel weird about this? And then finally I was like, okay, we can trust certain people. Like, it just felt like a big,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, I
I can
agree.
be real with this person. This is just very weird. But at the beginning it was very strange because you're suddenly thrust into, we're all doing the same thing, so everybody lumped us in together. And you're like, I don't know who you're lumping me in with. It was just a lot of,
Yeah.
what the
And
heck?
there were a lot of big feelings.
There were a lot of
Everybody.
big
Well, and it
feelings.
was just like, you
So
know, it was
new.
sudden, and then like Mark was coming on, and that was like
Yes.
weird.
That was scary.
for
Like, I was
us.
honestly very scared because of his online persona. I didn't know what to expect. I was like, he's going to try and
I
make
wish
us
he would
all
come
bad.
back on.
I do too.
I know.
Because
Now
I
that-
feel like
yeah.
everyone's much more secure.
Even the
Everyone's
people who
much more
don't
secure.
post, who are like, "Oh, this little jerk is coming on," they'd be like, "Oh, he was fine."
He was
Like,
like,
Yeah, no,
like,
I would
Mark
just-
was so
we had
kind.
no idea
it
what
was
to
so
expect.
different. We just didn't know
Yeah.
what to expect.
And the first cruise was 26 nights.
Yeah.
So we
Long
had
time.
built like a lot of repertoire with these people and had not had a turnover for basically the whole first month.
Yeah.
And then there was the first turnover, so we were all nervous about that.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just
And then there
very
was
scary.
Mark
What
was coming
he was
on,
gonna
and
do.
it was like, what's going to happen?
Passage,
Right.
It was a
Yeah.
lot
There was a lot of
emotions.
almost anxiety around that
the
first
the
turnover.
first turnover. I feel like was
I remember feeling like it was a choose your own adventure. Like that kind of pissed me off that people
Yeah.
were choosing to come to our vacation or our
Right.
adventure
Yeah, I agree.
with, and we know him now. This wasn't actually his intention. but like
Right.
with the idea or
I'm gonna stir the
I'm gonna
pot.
outside
ruin your
persona
vacation.
that like I'm here to fuck shit up. When you're
This
like,
is how
I
we stir the
paid
pot.
too much money for this. Like, don't do this to
No,
me.
yeah.
I was
exactly.
very stressed about it because I was like, I came on this trip because my dad died and I wanted to be happy and like go on this awesome trip and I don't want to have to worry about if somebody's gonna make all these old people mad at me. Like,
Yeah.
so I was just very scared in general. And then we met Mark and it was totally fine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there was a lot of big feelings at the beginning.
Well, and I think being a TikToker at the very beginning felt like a lot more pressure too, because there was a lot of conversations in the Facebook group about the
Facebook.
TikTokers.
The TikTokers.
And we didn't want to be roped, like we wanted to still do TikTok,
Yeah.
but we didn't want to be roped in with,
The TikTok.
we didn't want to be a TikToker.
Well, we didn't want to make everybody
Yeah.
mad and
Yeah.
make everybody uncomfortable when we had to live with them for 9 months.
Yes.
Like, that was just a lot of pressure.
Make sure my ass is covered.
Emotional support.
No, just making sure my
Stuffy.
tush isn't hanging out.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, I think too, it's funny when I think about it. That like none of us, I would say none of like our group of friends.
It's also a very long, not a long time ago as well.
No.
It's weird to
No,
think
we've just
about.
gone through so much life in
Yeah.
such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
It feels like years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I would say like none of us were like the bad TikTokers that people thought. It was more this idea of what people could do
Do.
with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Right.
stirred up fear in fellow passengers.
There's a lot of like, will you film me and post
Yes.
me?
Right, are
Yeah,
you gonna make
am
fun
I
of
gonna
you doing
be-
Zumba? Like,
Which is fair.
none
Right.
of us did.
Or
but I
do.
think
Yeah,
that was
thankfully
the fear.
everyone
Was
kind of understood
respectful.
the assignment and knew where to draw lines. It never got weird, and I think people calmed down pretty quickly.
I think too that was right when maybe not right, but like fairly quickly people started making content about all of our content,
Yes.
which for
Which
me
that
has
was weird
always
at
been
first.
the weird. I hold that to me is the strangest thing. That
We were
like
just
I never
baffled.
anticipated that. And that is always that I feel like is more the root of a lot of people's concern with TikTok. It's not any of
Yeah.
our actual content; it's the content that is made then from it that is then taken out of control.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, because when I went to, who was the first? Like Indy was probably like the first one.
One of the first.
And
One
then
of the
I
first,
had
yeah.
like the
Definitely.
one person that was making, like they made the video about like our political views or whatever.
That was
And, like,
very weird.
So like
That
it was stuff at that
very
time that
weird.
got really uncomfortable.
That one was, but I was like, "Ooh, pass the test."
Yeah, well, definitely.
Whatever.
But it was still just
We
odd. I
watched
was
it and
like,
high fived at the end.
yeah, we were like, woo, we made it.
I texted my brothers. I was like, "I'm clear."
Yeah.
But it was just very stressful. We're like, whoa, what have we opened? Like, obviously, we posted on TikTok, so we
Yeah.
opened ourselves up to an extent, but it was just like,
Yeah.
You
we
didn't
went from,
expect.
we
No,
went
yeah.
from, I
Did
think
that.
my 5 friends back home are going to watch this to, we
I have
have,
100,000 followers. I'm getting news requests.
that
like,
was very strange.
Yeah.
Almost overnight.
but it was perfect storm. I mean, there was not a lot going on.
It was like
Holidays.
Christmas break,
Holidays,
right?
Christmas
So everybody's
break.
off
The
It
work.
was
news
us.
cycles.
It was us and Neil the Seal.
Yeah.
I love Neil.
He's
Yeah.
still there. He was on live the other day.
Was he?
Yeah.
What is it, New Zealand?
Yeah,
Tasmania.
Tasmania, Australia.
Okay.
Very sad that we missed Neil the
Me too.
Seal Land.
Let's go back.
I do love Neil the Seal.
Put it on our long list of
Put it on
trips.
the
That's the
long
next
list.
list.
Okay. So, since we've been on the cruise, for halfway, we're like halfway done.
In a full 5 years, also at
Yes.
the same time.
Feels like.
4
What
months or 40
Have been your
years.
favorite ports so far? Or favorite countries?
I like
however
True
you
Did you
want
do
to say.
your? Did you do enough of your first impressions? Were they joined, or did you guys have
I
separate
mean,
ones?
they were relatively joined. Like,
Okay.
I covered LRBs, and then ours was, we sat
The
and
TikTok
talked at the
thing.
first TikTok thing. But again, with Ali, it was like the first time we sat down and talked about the doc.
Yeah.
That I was like, okay, we all feel the same, and we
Yeah.
We're
all
not
kind of talk shit.
I was like,
the
here's
same
my
way.
red flags.
Yeah, yeah.
Also talked about Disneyland, and it was
Yeah,
just like
That's
really
true.
good.
That's true.
We did
That
have a
was
strong
good.
bond over
We
Yeah.
Disney
realized
as
we're all
well.
whack jobs.
Disney
together.
adults.
That helps.
Yeah, definitely
Okay.
helped. But
We're
anyway,
slowly
yes.
Just
converting LRB.
Very slowly.
We convert everybody. It's a true
Although
blessing.
I think it's much more like, yeah, I'd love to go just to hang out with y'all.
Yeah,
So,
right.
like,
yeah, you're
It's just
coming.
No,
me
it'll be
there.
fun.
It's like
I'm
a
here.
good mutual.
I'm
like-
making the trip to Florida. We're gonna go, and
It's
you're
like,
coming.
I'm coming. I'll dress up. I'll do all the themes. Like, I'll do that because I like being part of a group.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah,
that-
fair.
Group content. Group
yeah. So it's much
costumes?
more me being like,
Can we do
I'm
Oogie
gonna
Boogie and we could be 3 blind mice?
Yes.
And a fourth?
What is that in?
Not Disney, but I was thinking like the rat.
Okay, but I was like, is
That's
that
from
Disney?
Shrek.
Isn't that Shrek? Like,
Talking about
People
the
do it
three
at
blind
Oogie
mice.
Boogie all the time.
Yeah. But I was saying, like, I
I'm
just
trying to think
like
of,
being
like, the
part of
rat.
a group. So,
well,
I guess-
welcome, LOL.
I guess Ratatouille.
Rat.
Right in front of me.
And patootie.
I mean,
Rapatootie.
if we get
I love
pigs,
that
you can wear
movie.
my chef coat. But they have like my government name on
So-
it, so we
We'll
just
just
have
blur
to
it
like
out.
pin it.
I almost
But like I actually have chef coats.
bought a pair of chef pants today, and I realized that I couldn't
so
pick them up.
comfortable.
I know, they're amazing.
Mine have 3 strands of elastic. They're insane.
With
They're
the- with the
flavor
pockets?
retardant.
Not just like scrub bottoms?
No.
No,
They're so
they're
cool.
different.
The pockets go down to your knees. You can fit like 5 water bottles.
Ultimate cargo pants.
No, but like then they have side
Ultimate
pants
world
too for like the
class,
pin
ultimate
pocket.
cargo
Yeah, they're
pants.
They're
awesome.
so cool.
And they're like now they're cool and baggy and like.
Well, mine don't like baggy. They're,
No,
like,
I'm
actually,
sorry.
like,
The
fit.
ones I found, I'll send them to you. They're cool.
No,
Can't believe that you
I
guys are bonding over
love
this.
chef pants, and like I was
Kitchens.
actually gonna bring one on board, and my mom was like, "You cannot bring this."
Why?
aboard."
You could have pretended like you worked in the kitchen.
Well, no, because they're like, hey, you do feel like they're not that flattering. But
Well,
like,
I don't imagine that they would be.
sometimes from some angles, they're very flattering.
It also
Okay.
depends on
She
the
got it
haircut, too.
I don't think I do. We're not gonna test that. So use back in. Although, the one thing I will say is, if anybody is going into the CIA and or
Where's this going?
Seriously, never know.
or any culinary school,
Oh, wait,
specifically
CSI.
CIA!
Yeah.
God!
Culinary Institute of America, not Center for Intelligence.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean,
Because with you, both of them are options.
that's true. But
God.
all
Okay.
of you
Anyway.
going
Agent
into the
right now.
kitchen, be careful with what underwear you wear underneath these pants.
I was prepared for
Because-
none of this.
You will see the lines. I know too much about what my classmates choose to wear as underwear. Pro tip, I just wore leggings under them or like bike shorts.
Do you have anything to say about somebody joining the Central Intelligence Agency?
Go for it. We all know the pizza theory.
What's the pizza? Are we talking like pizza?
Okay, put that on the agenda.
So the pizza theory is like, so there's like a Pizza Hut Papa John's right by the Sierra, and when they stay long, they order more pizza. So if you could see the busier than usual, something's going on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Also, you cannot have your like own phone, and there for a while, Fitbit was having a big problem because they would track where people were walking
Interesting.
inside, and they have like their own very intense kitchen inside. I almost did an internship at West
So you almost went
Of course.
to the CIA after working at the CIA.
The CIA.
for my internship. Yeah, I went to New Orleans instead.
Ugh.
But
Incredible.
like a wildest different.
You could be
option.
real life Clarice.
No.
Okay, so
Not sure
anyways,
what
back to
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
reports because that took a turn.
That's how this goes.
And
That's how
that's
this goes. Welcome
this
to the
works.
podcast.
Put it on the agenda. Okay.
Favorite report, Angie, go.
Okay.
Or like top 3, top 5, whatever.
Thank you.
Let's do top
Per-
two.
okay, I'm gonna do top 2 per big segment so
Okay,
far.
okay.
We are
Oh,
starting
yeah,
our
that's
third big
intense.
segment. I know. Well, you know I can't make choices.
That's fine.
It's behind time.
Uruguay, obviously.
Love
Secret
Montevideo.
banger.
Pardon?
It was a secret banger.
It
I
was
think it's the
amazing.
group secret banger for
It
sure.
was
Uruguay is one of the
amazing.
top hitters.
Amazing.
Oh my god.
And then
this is
I
amazing.
will say Peru. Even though we didn't actually get to see Machu Picchu, I still absolutely loved the experience we had,
Yes.
and that it was beautiful, and that the altitude didn't kill me, so I know I can go back and see Machu Picchu later
Right.
Yep.
without puking my guts out.
Important. There
It
were
is
lots
important.
of people that did.
Yeah,
There
it
was.
was bad.
And then segment 2, Maria,
Ugh.
hands down. And then I will say it's a tie between South Korea and Vietnam.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, I loved both of those and would like to go back. They're both very different,
Mm-hmm.
but I really enjoyed both of those experiences. And I would like to go back and do a full Asia,
Tour.
more of Japan, and then more South Korea and more Vietnam.
So this is the one negative about always doing royal tours. Like they do
You
stop
miss-
at bathrooms.
Uh,
No,
that's
that's
a
a
Yeah,
team
that's
of
such a
all.
negative.
That's a peanut
Oh
bottle.
my
That's a
God.
big negative there.
Because those old people.
You're
I mean, I
fucking
also
left.
need a bathroom every hour, so like,
Yeah.
it's fair.
But-
Okay, yeah,
But
that's
yeah.
me.
LRB.
I love Uruguay. That
Yeah.
was like, I also really enjoyed Ushuaia.
Yeah, you saw
Yeah,
really
I did
fun.
like Ushuaia too.
I will say I'm not sure if that's necessarily so much the experiences I had there or just like the general vibes.
Yeah.
Or the fact that it was our first day off the boat in 8 days and we had
That
overnight.
could be it. You
Yeah,
know
that was
what?
really helpful for me.
That could
Yeah.
have been like because
Yeah.
it's not very free though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It,
but I think it was just
but
we
it
were
really
off.
did. Like with the mountains, it just felt very.
No,
It
it
was
was
pretty.
stunningly beautiful.
And it was a port that you could just get out and walk out. Where
Which I
we
did
had been
love.
to many recently where you had to take the shuttle. So
That's
it was just
true.
nice to be able to walk right to town
Yeah.
That's true.
and be right in town.
I think any port that you could like instantly
Be in
Get
town.
right
be
there.
in town,
excellent.
love it.
I agree. If you don't have to get a ride from the boat,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it helps a lot.
I really liked Auckland
Yeah.
as well.
I
And
did like Auckland.
could be for like very similar reasons, but I
Mhm.
also just I was vibing.
Just liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good vibe.
Yeah, and
I
then
agree.
South Korea, loved all of South Korea.
Yeah.
Would
Yeah.
go back. I enjoyed Japan a lot. I love
I
Japan.
love Japan.
Love Japan. Would love more days in Japan.
I would
Yeah.
move to Japan for like half the year easily.
Expensive.
Yeah. It's very cheap to buy a house right now.
Can you buy a house?
You can buy one not being a citizen.
Yeah,
I watched a whole
know
thread on
some-
it today.
In
yeah.
some places you can't. Like Murray, you have to be
No,
a
they're-
French citizen to buy
Really?
it properly. Yeah.
Have you seen the posts of like countries paying people to
Yeah.
move to countries?
Yeah.
Japan's
Northern
doing that?
Japan is one of those.
Oh.
They pay
All
you a
buy a
salary
house
to move
together?
Can we
there.
have an Airbnb?
Commune?
Is this a new business idea?
Not like a commune, but like commune.
And
Let's
group
see.
business ideas.
Group
added-
business idea.
added to
Passive
the agenda.
income, please and thank you.
More
There was-
passive income, more travel.
There
Yeah.
was a really cool thing that I couldn't get it to load, but I was like very sad. Japan has this thing where they'll let you stay in like historical buildings, like temples, castles,
That would be
and
very cool.
experiences. And I was trying to get it to load. So cool.
Let me try it.
Yeah.
No, I want to stay in like one with the paper walls and the. I want to do that so bad.
I want to do the onsen thing, like with the
I want a
private-
matcha ceremony.
You know the hard thing about onsen though is with tattoos, very few
That's
of
why
them you
if
can go
you
in.
do a private one, like at a little
They're
house,
yeah,
that
they're
you
ones
can
you
do,
can
they
do
have private
tattoos.
ones
Perfect.
because we had to like
we live
You Google
Reddit
closely,
thread
Okay.
search this.
I was like, who has big tattoos?
Not my Mickey Mouse tattoo,
Dark
but
baby.
Yeah, Allie and I could put band-aids on ours.
Yeah, like, I can
Yeah,
do
no, I got no
this.
shot.
I was like, just tattoos.
I was like, I'm
very
not
small.
heavily tattooed.
I just
but
would scandalize people.
Yeah.
Me and Mickey Mouse would just.
So that's your only one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they had more.
Like,
She chickened out.
totally
I chickened out, remember?
blocked
That's right.
out all of these.
Like, if I had
I was like,
extremities.
no.
Yeah.
So any other ones, or those were your main?
Those are my mains for now.
For
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Singapore as well.
Singapore, we were
Singapore was
just
Cool. I wish we had more.
Yeah.
needed more time.
Talk about expensive there.
Yeah, very.
Crazy rotations. You know what I mean?
I love those. That whole tour.
It's a movie. We're not racist. Anyway,
And a book.
I always like just like myself. I love those.
I
Let me
love those.
count the point. It's a book series.
yeah.
It's
Anyway,
the only book series I have downloaded on my phone.
Kevin Kwan.
So
Really?
I have read it at like every single point.
You okay?
No, like my arm's really rough right there.
all right.
Really? I mean, it's just a little dry skin. Just.
You want lotion?
No, it's okay.
I put some lotion.
Deidre, what were your big hitters for ports? Thus far?
Okay, so if we're going like one, Antarctica is still
A
just a
big
place
one.
for me that's like I don't know if it can be trumped. Like being in Paradise Bay, hearing that because I got like really I don't know. At some point, I was up for like the back of the windjammer. There was no one around me, and I was just like staring at like no waves, nothing, and just that like perfect still crispness, and then being able to like only thing I can hear is like my shutter clicking on my camera was
Loved it.
a very very like defining moment for me and for the trip. So I love that. Trying to think like
I think
one I loved a lot, but my hitters are gonna be like two for sure.
I was gonna say I think Antarctica was also so overwhelming.
That
Like
it's
with
like
just
separate
sensory
almost.
overload.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the ship was a lot like there was a lot going on.
Yes.
At the time too.
That was part of the doc. I remember
That
being
was part of all of that.
fucking in Antarctica up there having that talk about the documentary again for another time.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
that of like, are we doing this right now?
That was
This
also
is when
part
we're
of
doing
yeah.
this?
That was also part of that
Yeah,
experience.
that was crazy.
Well, then like having like 10,000 people in like our live at one point was
Hold on.
insane.
Did we die?
No, it's
No,
just-
it's doing the
Okay.
thing.
There you
but
go.
having so many people on live.
Yeah, that was just really really cool. And then I'm just trying to think like what is like also just very memorable about one.
Peru.
Yeah. Oh God, I forgot about Peru.
That's. I feel like you do forget.
Mm-hmm.
You forget because
It's
it's
really
so
hard
much in a
to-
short time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, I would still say probably Peru. Just that experience was awesome. And again, it's some of my favorite images I've captured on the trip.
Mhm.
And that really has become like a major part of
How
my
you feel
experience.
about it,
Yeah,
yeah.
is like what pictures I took kind of determines how much I like a port.
Mhm.
And then for leg 2, I really love Sydney.
Mhm.
Sydney was good.
Sydney was cool.
Should've
Getting
been
to
an
go to
overnight.
the Sydney Opera
Easily
House.
should have been overnight. But we
Yeah.
just had such like an awesome, cool,
We did.
full day there.
We walked our booties off.
like 11 or 12 miles a
Like,
day.
It was like the Disney day, but
Yeah.
Sydney.
We saw a lot that day. And then,
The King Tut exhibit, like that was cool.
yeah, the Opera House,
Or
walking
no,
around,
it was
going to
Ramses,
Singalow.
my bad.
Ramses at third. That's the Exodus. Pharaoh.
Yes, the Exodus Pharaoh, so that was really cool.
You okay?
We're
And then-
gonna scale people.
Yeah, no, you're good.
No,
We're
just,
good.
that's just I love like my favorite book of the Bible is Exodus. I love Moses. I
I
just see Ramses.
No, it's
What was
just,
I?
I was just joking.
It was a
It
callback.
was a
I just
callback.
love-
It was
I
a
just
callback
love-
to actually the next episode.
That is just the hill I will die on. I love
Yeah.
the
Premonition.
the movie musical masterpiece, The Prince of Egypt, had a very massive effect on me. So I will die on this hill.
Love it.
And then two, or like I'm gonna kind of split my last two. One's just like Japan in general. I think I never had a bad day in Japan.
That's
and
true.
I've already voiced that I would move there in a second. And then two, I actually, even though our tour was a bit weird, I really just loved being in the desert in Abu Dhabi and like Dubai. And aesthetic was still part of two.
I like.
And I
Abu
just
Dhabi
loved it.
more than Dubai.
Our tour, you had the nice tour.
Yeah.
Our tour was not the same as your tour.
Our tour was like raggedy.
It was a very ratchet.
But it was still, like, I think back about that
Yeah.
portion, and I'm like,
Was
that's a very
just-
defining moment.
It was fun.
for me.
It was so
yeah.
It was real fun, and I'm happy you guys were there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that made it a
because
lot better
If
to
you
have
and
each
the
other.
families had not been there, we would have been like, we're getting murdered.
Yeah, we're
like,
getting
we're
trafficked.
straight up getting murdered.
Yeah, that was
Human trafficked, murdered.
How many times have you worried about getting human trafficked on this trip? Because
A
I have had
couple.
it several times.
I've had
Big question.
several. I've
Which-
had
is this
several.
a terrible thing to talk about?
No, this
That's
is
a reality.
That's a reality of traveling. So I say that's.
LRB is like, this is not something we should be talking about.
I like this is why you buff with Roy.
Wow.
That's also a very fair
Valid.
That's a
point.
very valid
I
point.
feel like that's much more of a
No, because one of those moments was on a Platinum Royal tour.
Which one?
India. I got pulled down to the basement.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's on us.
That wasn't royal. That's
Yeah.
on Andrew.
That was on my husband.
I was gonna say I feel like the trafficking would be much more pros and cons of private tours
Okay.
versus
Yeah.
like
Royal
more mass
tours.
produced.
Okay.
tours.
or even like a
that's
short
fair.
excursions group where it's like a bigger
Yes.
one.
So
That's
like,
Yeah.
Sidebar.
Maybe you should branch that
Sidebar.
Yeah. More on that. We haven't yet had an issue. It's just
Yeah.
you have to be careful wherever you are, even at home.
That's
Head
true.
on a
No, it's
swivel.
All of your
reality.
choices, all
Yeah.
of your decisions.
Force. Okay. But my favorite course.
Yeah, sorry.
Backtracking. No, you're good. Is segment 1. I would definitely say Ushuaia was cool, but it was just like very fun.
Yeah, like they told us where they were going, and I was like, come on,
We'll
let's
go.
go.
I remember seeing you the next morning in your robe in the Windjammer
Because it was tough.
We had a great night.
because you got up early to tell somebody goodbye. So I think that's why you were up so
Yes,
early.
'cause Lee was
Lee
leaving.
left that
But I just remember
day.
being like, you had fun.
We did have fun.
It was
We went
more
out.
of like I didn't even feel bad. I was just so tired because we didn't get
Yeah.
back till like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
It was
And
tough.
that's the latest I think
But
I've ever stayed on.
It
in my
was
life.
fun to
Like,
be like to go out with the crew and like have those memories. And Andrew was like, "How often do you get to be at the end of the world at a bar with the crew members?" Like,
Yeah.
So that was very cool because we're actually friends with these people now, which was a totally different experience.
Well, it's nice to be able to hang out with them where they can be themselves, and
not
there's
at
not
work.
like this
Weird.
"I'm serving you" line. And
There's definitely a weird dynamic.
yeah,
Right,
it's
right.
hard, especially with this cruise. That makes it very different.
Yeah.
I'm disgusting.
Um,
Allie has the talking pen.
I'm discussing.
What did I do?
Uruguay was just awesome. Like
Yeah.
the chivito sandwich at the port market where Anthony Bourdain ate, which is the whole reason we ate there, and like the winery tour. It was just awesome.
winery tour was cool.
Loved it. Loved it. Loved it.
It's great,
Peru
man.
was just cool. Like the whole Inca Valley was awesome. Then I'll say for segment 2, which technically starts in LA, so I'm gonna like sidebar. We spent an extra 5 days in LA with Ani and Goose.
I don't count that as part of the cruise because that's its own separate
This is her pick.
Thank
trip.
you.
I'm just saying.
But my mom flew
discussed this
out
extensively.
to visit, and so like me and my mom got to have our first day at Disneyland together, and as like big Disney World people, that was a big deal. So like that was really fun. Like the whole LA thing was just like really special and cute, and I really liked it. And then Japan was just freaking awesome. Like I was one at the beginning where I was like, I just never really pictured myself going to Asia. I was like, that's not like my thing. I'm not into anime. For some reason, I was just like, I'm not into anime, so I don't know that I would like act. Hello.
It's also a visual medium.
At
As you're-
LRB, because
Thanks.
As you're flipping us off.
at LRB. I also just didn't think that I would like Japan that much or like Asia that much, but it ended up being, it was so clean, it was so organized, everything was just really freaking cool. Like
Toilets.
the toilets. Oh my god.
Prime time.
But like we also went to Hong Kong Disney and met
Yeah,
Josh
fun.
Gad and went to the night markets in Hong Kong. Hong Kong was just cool.
I was like, you just
Taipei
full
was
went to Hong
cool.
Kong.
I just all of Asia.
Hong Kong?
Yeah.
All of
She
what?
just bounced to Hong Kong like immediately.
What do you
Just
mean?
all of Asia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of Asia. No, I'm saying like all of Asia just ended up blowing me away.
No, I mean,
more than
I was a
expected.
big crier at the Great Wall. I cried a lot.
See, but I also really liked the Forbidden City.
I remember turning around being like, "You're actually crying?" And you're like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay."
Okay.
No, I was tore up.
Well,
The
he's
whole
got a
time.
whole like family.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was a big deal for me. Like, that was the
His
whole story with
one-
that was, like, when I was 9 years old, so my aunt lived in China, and then my nanny went to go, like, fly out and visit her, and they went to the Great Wall, and she came home and was just, like, stoked. And she talked about it, like, all the time, and I just remember, like, making the decision at, like, 9, I was like, if I can get to the Great Wall, like, I have done it.
I've
Like,
done
I have made it.
everything.
Yeah, and so, like, to think that that was the biggest dream I had in my life, and then that would just be one of the many things that we're getting to do on the trip. Like,
was
I was
very
just very
overwhelming.
emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was very,
very
overwhelming.
special.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I'm
is
also
great.
going to
It's a good
backtrack a
moment.
little bit from Japan. Sorry, and
No,
say, but also
you have the talking
Hawaii.
head.
Hawaii was just so beautiful.
Hawaii
Like
was a
it's one of
great
those places
time.
where I just expected everybody to be like, "Oh, Hawaii's so beautiful," and you're like, "Yeah, sure." But we got there and I was like, "Holy crap, this place is amazing! Like it's so beautiful. Like all the surfing, like just all of the Polynesian culture was just so cool." And
In
I
your
was
Leonard
just-
shirt? Is that what that was?
Your what?
No.
Oh.
I was just really excited. Like Hawaii was just so cool, and I can't wait to go back there. So my dad had like a whole big moment with like one of his goals was to climb. the
Oh,
mountain.
that's what the pose was.
Wait, what? Oh, yes. I like stood in the water to take a mental image. Whole thing. But like my dad had a whole moment on Diamond Head. Yes.
Yeah.
My dad had a very rough upbringing, and like one of his big goals was to climb a mountain, any mountain, and it ended up being Diamond Head. And so like he was so excited when he climbed Diamond Head with my mom that I was like very emotional being at Waikiki and like seeing it in the background and being like, my dad's still with me, like all these things, being just like, oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Just all these things. Like it was just very emotional for me, and I've just loved segment 2 maybe more than segment 1, to be honest. Besides Antarctica and Peru, like okay, there were bangers, but as a whole, segment 2 was kind of a banger.
Yeah.
Segment 2.
I think segment 2 for me as well.
So what's everyone looking forward to in segment 3 before we wrap up this episode?
I have this. I'm really excited. Maybe this is going to sound dumb. I'm really excited to be back in Cape Town. I have spent
Yeah.
a couple days in Cape Town before, and every day on this cruise is new, and we're in a new place, and you're trying to navigate a new place, and that
Yeah.
gets kind of old. Like, it's
Right.
part of travel,
Mentally
but it's really
taxing,
fun, but
yeah.
it's so mentally taxing. So for me to already know we're going to be in the V&A waterfront, I know where there's a coffee shop, I know where there's a burger restaurant, like to know these things and have, like, a sense of familiarity
Like,
will
amongst
be
all of the
nice.
newness
it's
will be
nice.
great. Like, that I freaked out the other day at a supermarket because I was like, I can get knickknacks in Savannah. Like,
Right.
it's that sense of familiarity when everything else is foreign is really nice. So I'm excited for
Yeah.
Cape Town as like a little like refresh.
I think that's a very valid point.
No.
Lerb?
I was very excited for Madagascar.
Too soon.
Like the big touchy moment. Which will be talked about in the next episode. But right now,
Yeah.
I'm excited for South Africa as well.
Yeah.
We're doing a safari, which I love.
Yeah.
I've been to South Africa before.
Have you
and
really?
yeah,
I
I did
didn't know
a
this.
2-week safari there.
How
Stunning.
cool.
She's been everywhere.
I have not been everywhere. It's on my
You
list.
will be after this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stunning, really beautiful. I'm excited. I love hippos, so like my one goal is to see a hippo.
I like them big. I like them chunky.
Oh, we went there. With the Oscar Isaac song. Hippo.
Hippopotamus, hippopotamus.
Pardon?
Oscar
They did it
Isaac
in,
sang
like,
a song
a-
one time.
Uh-huh.
about-
I
Did
think
an interview.
the Moto like
But where was
Yeah,
his house?
the Moto was
He
very...
said I went to his house.
Oscar
Hippopotamus.
Isaac. Stop.
That's what he just said.
I said hippopotamus. I mean, but you heard I went to his house.
I did, because I
I
wanted
was like,
to know where
if you
his
know
house
Oscar
Sam-
Isaac, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Who? Do you remember? Now I have a segue.
Hold
the
on, am I
agenda?
putting this on the
No,
agenda?
it's just a side note.
Okay,
When
yes.
we watched the Eras tour, Allie called. Was it you or was it you?
No, it was
you.
me.
Who
The
called
live
the
guy.
hot dancer in
He
the Eras
wasn't-
concert a
he was-
Temu version of Oscar Isaac.
He was very attractive.
He's so attractive.
There was a guy that held a ladder or something, and he was like some people would think he was attractive, but to me he just looked like
Me.
Timu. He looked
Me too.
like Timu version of Oscar Isaac, so I was not interested. I was like, give me brand A, don't give me
We all
HIJ.
died. And we all were like, what?
We're like staring at this man. We're like, this
They're
is
all
one of
like
the
jaw
hottest
dropped and
men.
I'm gonna pull it up.
meh.
And she's like,
Incredible.
Sorry.
Anyway.
Back to LRB, I apologize.
So you're very excited for South Africa.
I'm excited for South Africa.
Are you also so excited that we're all doing a tour together?
Yeah, I am.
I got
think
bullied
it'll
into
be,
it,
like,
but I'm happy
very-
I did.
Yeah. I think it'll be super exciting.
That's gonna be really fun, honestly.
From outside saying my mom's coming in live.
I
Sorry.
know! Yay! I'm excited too.
I'm
Yeah,
too.
so
It's a
South Africa's
shorter
obviously a
day.
big one.
Yeah. Which makes sense, because
Yeah.
we have friends who live there.
Live there.
Bum,
Yeah.
bum,
Ba, ba,
bum.
ba, ba.
Very exciting.
Very exciting.
Also, like Senegal, I don't know anything about Senegal besides The Good Place and Chidi being from there.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's
That'll be
really all
great.
I know. I'm excited to see what I will discover and what places I may be like so lit about.
Alright.
Brand name Oscar Isaac or off-brand Oscar Isaac.
No. It needs a
Angie's
beard.
for the podcast. Angie's showing a picture of this off-brand Oscar Isaac
It's
man.
not enough for it.
For the podcast, he's not off-brand. His name is Jan Ravnik. Google him. Do yourself a favor.
Did you?
All right, you guys, you too. What are you most excited for?
Oh, Gibraltar. That's gonna be freaking
Oh.
cool.
My
Why?
only dislike is there's a lot of monkeys.
Because John Lennon and Yoko
Oh, that's
Ono
right.
got married there, and I'm a
What
big
about
Beatles
like
nerd.
Dubrovnik?
Oh, that's next.
Are we
That's
doing a
next?
game? Is it? No, it's this one.
It's
no,
this one.
Croatia's
It's
this one.
until
No, it's
Barcelona.
not. Okay,
No, wait.
canceled.
It's
Yeah.
this.
Isn't Croatia this one?
Okay,
we do a Game of
cancel,
Thrones
cancel.
tour?
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
obviously.
Okay, so cancel everything that I just said. I don't.
Shit. Sorry, I didn't realize.
Yeah, this goes all the way to Barcelona, guys.
I
Like,
know.
like there's,
We
We
it's
just
like,
keep thinking Africa.
and everyone's like,
Yeah, everyone's
everyone's like
just
Cape
in
Town, and I'm
Africa.
like, yes,
I thought
but
it ended in Ravenna.
Ravenna.
no, we got
No,
some hitters.
that's just when we get back to the original itinerary.
Yeah, that's when we
what I
get
was
back.
thinking.
Oh,
And then
no,
Barcelona.
Lots of other
I meant
places,
yeah, a lot of other places.
Lisbon.
I love Lisbon.
Oh my god.
I mean, I'm stoked for Rome,
Hold on.
and my parents are coming.
We're gonna be in
Oh, Portugal's the next one. My bad.
Dubrovnik, which is King's Landing, and I'm just gonna lose my mind in King's Landing. Like,
No, Shame.
I
I haven't
love
got that far.
Game of Thrones.
What?
He hasn't got that far.
haven't
He's
got
watched
that
all of House of
far.
the Dragon. He has
Okay.
not watched Game of Thrones. He's only watched the first like 4 seasons.
Yeah, ish.
Shame.
But I read all the books.
Yeah.
I love everything
I
about
also
it. I
listened
can't
to
wait.
like the first like 10 chapters of the book.
Okay.
Which is good. I'm proud of me.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Also,
Yeah.
Barcelona, like
Yeah.
the Sagrada Familia, I freaking cannot wait.
Like,
Are we gonna do a
all
Cheetah
of
Girls
Italy.
thing?
China girl, China sister. You know what I mean?
All of
Should we
Italy.
dress him up as a cheetah girl and do it
Something
during?
France.
Rome, Italy. I thought it ended in Ravenna.
Me
too.
too.
That's just when we get back on the
that's
OG.
just- yeah, that's when we.
had to
Well.
ask me, I would have bet money.
I
that
would have
it-
too. I'd have been like,
Come on,
yeah,
guys.
Ravenna is the end.
I was like, this is such a short segment.
Well,
Obviously.
now we know.
Now
So,
I mean,
podcast.
read your CPAS card. It says.
Damn, did
Africa,
you just go
Mediterranean.
last like that?
My CPAS code changes every mini segment.
Thank
He
you.
means the
Yes, it
title.
says Africa and Southern Europe.
Okay.
Well, I was just.
Ravenna is Southern Europe.
Thank you.
I do too. Oh, Allie's.
Yes. I'm responsible for both of those.
That's fair.
Sorry. But
Okay.
what time is it? Is it close to our time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely past dinner.
Did
time.
everybody answer what they're most looking forward to?
I think so.
Did you?
Did you?
I mean, I'm kind of just excited, you know.
You're just happy to be here at Beyonce Knowles?
Yeah, my heart was really set on the things that got cut off.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to just not think that much
That's
about
fair.
it. Yeah.
Just be surprised by the
Yeah,
things that you
I'm just
uncover.
gonna be happy.
For the listeners, we should also mention we found out that they got canceled the day,
Today.
like today while
For Madagascar.
Madagascar.
Yeah,
yes.
so-
Which was a big one that we
we've
were all.
only
Oh, no, I'm
really
saying,
known
like,
for like
Petra and stuff.
12
Yeah, I'm
hours.
saying,
We've
like,
known that. We've known that
like,
since LA.
Here and there.
Yeah. No, I've been well,
February.
somewhat like.
Yeah.
No, I was really just like was really excited for like Israel, Turkey,
All of those.
Greece. Like those were like my big hitters, and we're losing all 3 of them. So that
Technically, we still have a stop in Greece, but we lose. We're gonna have like 7. We now
Right.
have one
One.
island
right.
in Greece.
So that's where it kind of sucks a little bit. So I'm kind of just like, yay, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
And then knowing that I'm going to experience some really awesome things, but I haven't thought that hard about it.
That's fair. Go for it.
Guard my
I was
heart a
looking
little
like
bit.
potential idea. Airbnb in Greece. Like stay in one place for a week.
oh,
Then
next
what do we
year.
miss?
Oh, you mean this year?
I don't know. Just in
Just
general.
throwing out
Yeah,
options.
I
just
mean,
like,
yeah. I mean,
They're
I'm always
into
game
it.
for a trip,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're taking a future trip.
Yeah, future trip.
I just did a
We
list.
always have
as in
things.
not an independent journey.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
why I was like, what are we missing?
I heard
then?
independent journey.
No,
Yeah, I was like, I
heard,
mean,
like,
sell me.
So what I'm hearing is next summer when we do a Mediterranean cruise,
Yeah.
we just
Yes.
come a week early or stay a week late,
Correct.
and then make like okay.
Yeah, but I also really.
I think a week late.
You also want to do
More.
one?
Huh? I want to do a Nile cruise so bad.
Guys, we have lots of trips. We have lots of
Yeah.
trips.
Lots of trips.
But
We have lots
I
of
vote
fun.
for an Airbnb after, because I think that's a bit more fun.
What do you mean?
It's good for me
After
and all
the
of my
cruise?
super.
Yeah, because like after packing up after the cruise and then immediately heading to the airport's like really depressing.
Yeah,
I feel like if we like
yes.
leave the cruise and then we have like 3 or 4
Downtime.
days afterwards,
Yeah.
it's a bit more
Yeah.
enjoyable. Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
See you.
We'll see ya when we see ya.
Cheers.
You can catch episode 2 because we already recorded it. We'll have at least 2 episodes.